Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Monday Star Citizen Q&A Roadmap Rampage. But before we get into the self-made controversy, we'll go ahead and cover some of the other news. We're down here on the planet. I love the greenery on Microtech. This is probably some of the favorite colors. I love fall colors. This planet in these areas is drop dead gorgeous. I would like to see a lot more of this in the future. My concern is Pyro is going to be all lava and ugliness. So I hope they have some biomes that are something that I want to visit. But Xenothreat is broken. Start with that. Basically, the mission is, yeah, I am looking a little gray compared to especially to the colors. But Xenothreat, she gives you updates, she's requesting help, all that stuff, but no mission is being generated. Nobody can pick up a mission, nobody can complete objectives. There are some servers where it's working, but good luck finding them. In fact, this morning when I was on playing, a person was literally jumping. He had friends in the server that was working. He was going from server to server asking people if they wanted to send them friends. He could send them a friends request so then they could join them on the server that was actually working. Server populations are about half or lower. People are like, okay, well, I can't do anything. So they basically have just kind of like stopped playing. So hopefully they extend the time of Xenothreat. It kind of sucks that it's down on the weekend, but particularly when a lot of times people have time to play the game, to make a little bit of money or whatever, participate. But it's boned. It's boned, and I'm not exactly sure, what changed on that. It's definitely something on their server side where it's just not giving out the mission. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on in the Xenothreat saga. Oh gosh, I spell Zaga with a Saga with a. I can't speak anymore. I think I'll just call that a stream. No, I was kidding. You're seeing multiple javelins. Wow, so that'd be an advantage, as long as you're on your side, But anyway, let me go and pull up some of the footage I got here from the Inside Star Citizen, and we'll talk a little bit about that before we get into. I want to get your thoughts on the whole roadmap Rampage situation. And let me go ahead and grab this. First of all, let's start with the Consolidated Outland Quad. Now, the odd thing about this particular vehicle is that, for starters, we knew we got this as a sneak peek during the 12 days of Christmas. And, of course, now they've showed us a video segment on it. It's been tested on the servers. But, oddly enough, it isn't being sold. I don't think I've ever seen a situation where a vehicle gets literally spotlighted and then they don't even sell it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I need to run out and buy this thing. Here's the thing about this vehicle. By the way, watch the movement as you're doing this. You see how janky things still move. The acceleration rates kill this game. They need to get the acceleration rates down. It makes everything just move so wonky. Anyway, and then, look how it mounts here. Like you can see the boom boom. It's weird. There needs to be softer things. Things like slam down too quickly. This is all dealing with acceleration and deceleration. The ramping up is so much, causes such a disconnect on the way things, you would imagine that they would actually move. But that's another point. But it's not a bad looking vehicle by any measure. But what I can't figure out is why I would want this over my Dragonfly. The Dragonfly has a storage case, if I remember correctly. The Dragonfly also has shields. The Dragonfly has weapons, and the Dragonfly has the ability to put 2 people on it. This has no weapons, no shields, and no ability to put a second person on it. Why would I want this over a Dragonfly? I mean, can someone explain that to me?
And the Dragonfly can carry 2 people.
That's what I said. Yeah, no second person.
Yeah, no second person.
So I'm like,
no weapons,
where
no
is this?
shield.
Now, this might make a nice LTI token or something you want to pick up in the verse later. I just can't see this as, oh, it's got a storage box. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being wrong about this, but I don't see this thing being better than, or even like, if you had to compare this to any other ground vehicles, where does this fit? And in any regards, you're defenseless, you can't fight back, and you can't carry a second person. There's no, I mean, not all ground vehicles, these gravel bikes have second person, but so you can maybe discount that. But nonetheless, where does it sit? Um,
The Dragonfly is not an expensive thing to get in game or out of game, so I don't
no,
know.
no, no.
It's,
I just don't see. Listen, it's an LTI token to me at best, and not because it's I said it's not a bad, ugly looking thing. It just doesn't really capture my imagination. It's not a priority. I have enough ground vehicles as it is. I don't need another one. Um, I'm good. But I mean, for those who don't, maybe. But why would you want something that doesn't give you any defensive capabilities whatsoever? Seems odd.
Special Agent Dooley with the
Oh,
CDC
look it. There we go
reporting
again.
that
See,
Navy
look.
says they haven't received any supplies in a while.
You hear that?
Let's get out there, people.
She keeps complaining that no one's delivering supplies, but no one can pick up the mission. So anyway, good times. All right, so let's move over to the second part, the refueling, which I think is, well, it's a mix. Now, for starters, to make this a viable gameplay option, fuel needs to have serious limitations and consequences. I mean, like hardcore consequences. We don't really see that too much in Star Citizen right now. So I have right now. So discounting that down the road, fine. Obviously, right now we don't have any way to harvest fuel. So the only way you can do it is by buying the fuel, which really makes it less profitable for those people who have refueling ships. I also think it's funny that he was going to be charging a small amount for hydrogen and a very large amount for quantum fuel. And anyone who's played the game knows that quantum fuel is like a nickel, where hydrogen fuel is like your whole paycheck. Um, but nonetheless, I have this is like one part of what you would imagine to be a whole string: harvesting, refining. Then you would go ahead and do the delivery with a higher profit level. Um, and a lot of times these refueling ships, these are the kind of these ships you'd imagine they would be moving with fleets. Like you would imagine a Starfarer would move with a larger fleet that's going through a territory, so that it could, like, while the people in your fleet are doing exploration or doing operations in an area, that the Starfarer would be out there making sure the ships were fueled, gathering and refining new fuel to keep the fleet out in an area of space that doesn't have any way to do that. Now, right now, as we only have one system, there's not a lot of need for this particular mechanic because it's not that hard to go somewhere and get some fuel. Um, yeah, there was only some way to harvest it. Now, I think it's nice to see the docking mechanic coming in that they have for the Merlin coming in to work with this. I think it's odd that there's also some subtitles in the video there. I couldn't take them off because it's just part of the video. Anyway, so the thing is that, yeah, you can set how much capacity. Then you can actually spill all your fuel into space,
yeah, that's
which is
ridiculous.
like, so I guess if you really want to perform the Riker maneuver, now you can with the Starfarer G. Just
Yeah,
gather all the fuel, dump all the fuel, and then light. If you can find someone that be on the catwalk in the back to shoot the fuel, maybe you can like blow up the
yeah.
whole thing. You call it the you can do the Riker maneuver. Hey, Renard. So yeah, you can see here that yeah you can just spill the fuel out in the space if you want to do that. Um, you would
Pour
think
it all over the guy that you're
now,
refueling.
yeah,
Apparently,
you would think that an automated system in the future would be able to automatically relay the information back to the fuel carrier that it's full and that you can stop now. Like, okay, because I hate to break it to you, I pumped gas in cars before. Now, when you put the little nozzle in the thing, now a lot of times, like, okay, unless you got a broken nozzle, for the most part, what happens is that when you hits full, you hear this click, and the handle pops up, right? And you just don't dump like 600,000 tons of fuel. Like remember back when we had the Apple IIe, there was those text-based games. You were a trucker, and you would stop to get fuel, and you could type in how many gallons you wanted. And then we would, for fun, we would type in like 36 billion gallons, and it goes, oh, you spilled 35 billion 900 gallons of gas on the ground, that's kind of what it feels like to me. It goes all the way back to those Apple IIe kind of texts. It's like, look. It's like just hook up. Tell me this is the rate. I'm gonna hook up. When it's full, it stops, and then basically, the money transfer. Of course, this comes with a new money transfer system that can stop at any particular point. So if you need to disengage midpoint, you only pay for that which you've used, and it just automatically stops the payment. It stops at the exact point. So that's kind of cool.
I think
Definitely.
it's funny. It's like so apparently the computer can't tell the difference to say fill her up. Oh, you mean the whole station goes here? Okay. No, I need the tanks filled up. No, You mean every amount of fuel that we have on our facility? We'll dump it on you. It's like, uh, can I have your credit card, please?
Yeah, so I don't really have any problem. This is like obviously one part of a larger system. Now, the idea of buying fuel, excuse me, sorry about that. Still under the weather. Um, okay, for ships like the Vulcan. Now, the Vulcan is one of my refueling ships that I have. Obviously, it's not a refinery. It would make sense to have this purchase point because of the Vulcan, at the very least, because that little ship that uses drones to refuel and doesn't have a refinery. Basically, that one would be ideal for going. You go to station, you pick up the fuel you need, and you go out and operate with the fleet. That's fine. I mean, the purchasing of fuel and things like that. This is a necessity in the game, for because you have to think just outside of the Starfarer, right? So you have to look at what other options are available. I would not want fly Starfarer through a gap like that. That would just be you're just asking to explode. It's just like no, no. Physics grids collide and Star Citizen, you're finished. Don't light a flare. Yeah, there you go. To bring a flare.
Yeah,
Don't press G when you're refueling. But yeah, so I think this will be fun. I don't think it's really going to be needed until we get Pyro. As I say, we're on the road to Pyro, which is a necessity for we have to have server meshing really before that's going to become a thing, right? Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, I was a little under the weather, so I just moved the mic away so you don't hear me cough again. Anyway, so yep, that's that. No big deal there. But we'll see how it comes across, how it works. I still don't see a lot of people using it. And the amount of money you're going to make from doing it, because you can't harvest and refine the fuel yourself, it's going to be nearly nothing. People will be testing it just to test it, or role-playing a refueling company. But they're not. There's really not going to be any strict necessity for it. Not yet. Which is fine. All right, switch back over here. So anyway, I guess we can get to the meat of the whole thing, which is as I titled the video, roadmap Rampage.
Oh boy.
Now, let me just put this on the table for starters. The roadmap has been an unreliable thing at best. It has been a somewhat minor, useful guide to indicate what they're working on in the background at best. Anyone who's followed the development of the game has known that a lot of the stuff that ends up on the roadmap ends up getting delayed, or new things come onto the roadmap and things get shuffled around. That's fine. I think we've all gotten used to that at this point in time. Even if you go look at the general forums and Spectrum, almost every post is berating CIG's actions. Now, I think this largely has to do with how it was stated. And it could have been a dev having a bad day, or maybe this is a universal feeling. I don't know. I can't read people's minds. It was poorly worded at best. Little vicious, vicious at worst. Basically saying that they're not going to be giving us as much information anymore. And it's our fault for complaining about things not being delivered. Now, look, I hate to say it, but there's a line that EVE Online, they even wrote a rap song about it, called "Harden the F Up." You cannot basically blame the entire community, or even be butthurt by some people, not understanding the difference between tentative and dedicated. If you want 100% of the people, this is almost a symptom of okay. Not 100% of the people don't understand or aren't happy what we're doing. We're just not going to do it. It's a lot like on Spectrum. What, you disagree what we're saying? You bring facts, data, and figures? You're banned. We're going to moderate the hell out of you. Get off our forums. Go to Reddit. Oh, you're going to get banned off Reddit too. You're going to get downvoted and moderated off on Reddit too. Look, this whole sticking your head in the sand crap isn't making things better. The pledge was about open development. That's originally what the pledge was. letting us know what's going on. And I expected, and right now, look, I expected the roadmap to be torn down because they're focusing on Squadron 42. They said as much. They want to get that out the door. Fine, I'm okay with that. Let's get something out there so we can get things moving forward. Stop splitting the teams. Have Squadron 42 be done with, and then just move everything over to the PU so we can have things happen faster there. Fine, I'm okay with that. Anyway, let's see. Hero says it's both a good and bad implementation. Good that the fuel is paid out by piecemeal. Bad that the fuel leaks take way too much long to
Maybe
gas
we're
up.
waiting
Yeah,
on supply drops.
yeah.
Let's hustle up.
Let's hustle up. Right now, Rattlehead says CIG is in a safe space playing with puppies because of our noise. We're talking about the text on the computer, not physical protests outside of their offices. Yeah, I mean there hasn't even been a response. The thing is that they have,
You think upper management, or at least gone, made a comment about this comment and
yeah,
nothing.
there's one of those things. It's just like I am. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. I try to look at it as a perspective as the person who wrote it was having a bad day. Even outside of that, the lack of response afterwards has had more weight than the initial post. And I don't want I don't understand, and maybe because it makes I don't live in California, the need to turn everything into a safe space. If you don't like what we're doing, if you have a suggestion on the forums that we're gonna moderate and block you. If we feel that 100% of people are on board, we're gonna the roadmap or don't understand it, we're just gonna go ahead and shut it down. It's cowardly. It's cowardly. I'm absolutely just
Like,
taken
where's
aback by it.
when they were bragging about open development?
Yeah, the street
What
is
happened
moderated.
to open development if this is the way they're going to act?
Yeah.
So
Uh,
people aren't allowed to ask questions anymore.
Um, See, your hero says, all of this is just noise, though. None of it is of any relevance or is any kind of constructive criticism to CIG whatsoever. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Also, the response has been a little over the top too. Look, I'm not saying that it's a one-sided issue. Definitely, the some of the backers flipping out about it has been too much. Like I haven't really posted about it at all. I've just been watching the response. And like, there's people in there saying, screw Squadron 42, get rid of Squadron 42, and stuff like that. Which is, apparently then they understand that this is about Squadron 42. Um, but I think if anyone has been following development of the game, I think we'd be very happy if they could stop splitting their resources and just get 42 done with, and then out the door, and then let the PU happen because they could double move that team over and add more content and things. And I don't know. 42 is. I still want to play 42. I think most of us do. But you know, some people are just here for the PU. That's a given. So you're not going to make everyone happy. Let's see here. Rattlehead says, I hear that in a Discord, the devs said they're just waiting for it to blow over. Well, I guess given time, sure, that could happen. It could end up being a big controversy. But I think if they're waiting for it to blow over, they know they stepped in it. They had the biggest backing year on record, and they should be very thankful to the backers keeping them up and going and being patient. And so I mean, clearly, if they had the biggest backing numbers of ever, then what are they worried about a few detractors? What's the point of being upset about that kind of thing? The numbers speak for themselves, guys. Don't shoot yourselves in the damn foot. Don't piss off the people who made you the most successful you've been like ever because of because you're afraid of mean words on the forums or other places. Um, Yeah, this is one of the biggest Rattleheads, biggest uproars I've seen. Yeah, it is. It's huge. It's been going on for days. It hasn't stopped. The forum, you're lucky if you can find any posts at all that aren't related to this situation. But yeah, I uh, I was looking at the forums right here. I have on my phone, and I was gonna go through. It's easier for me to use the phone because I've already got the OBS on the right of the screen and then the game on the left, and it's kind of messy. Um, Now they still have a good amount of detail on the there's the not just the general roadmap but the pictures, but they have the one with the actual breakdown of the things that they're developing, the one with all the it's a little bit more in depth, a little bit more confusing, not as easy to to go through. That one's pretty much the same. So if that's the one you go to, then that's perfectly fine. I don't really see there. Um, so it says here that going forward, starting after Alpha 3.18, we'll only add cards on release view 1 quarter out. So they'll be listed as tentative and they pass a final review, which be marked as committed upon passing. So like here's the features that have been removed from the last update. FPS radar and scanning, which is I don't like FPS radar anyway. Hacking tech, EVA tier 2, 0G push and pull, persistent hangars, hangar management app, Miss Hall C, NPC taxi missions tier 0, pirate swarm, vandal swarm improvements. So that was pulled off of the last update. That's a lot. In fact, but we did get a coffee shop vendor, so it's
Yeah.
not all bad. Um, it's important to focus on the good things. So if you need space Starbucks, you know, you're set. All right, so Rattlehead says we had this chat last year about Squadron 42 being a blocker. If we had played GTA 5 multiplayer for years and then released a single player, it would not be as exciting as you've already experienced everything. I'm sure the PU has been left in its reduced state, so Squadron 42 will look and feel better when released. Absolutely, they pretty much said as much. There are ships like obviously. Let me give you an example. The F8 Lightning. I have one of those. Okay, have yet to fly it. Other people have stolen them in game. They're in game. NPCs are flying them. Why don't I have it? It's supposed to be a reward for Squadron 42. They've pretty much said in the past for a while ago that like people asking, well, where's my Idris? I can see it in the games. Oh, well, we're not going to release that because we don't want to spoil the Squadron 42. There's a lot of stuff that just basically has been stripped out or at least buried and hidden because they want to show it in 42 first. And I can kind of understand that. I'm not against that. I just wish they'd have more content because like I still haven't found one of the new Rex at all, and I've been
Yeah.
looking. And now your big open world event is broken, and so right now I mean I'm just out here on a planet standing around enjoying the scenery because that's pretty much what I can do. Yeah, I can go do some bounty hunter missions and maybe I can do some delivery missions that may or may not work, but for the most part, like this is what I do in Star Citizen. I find cool vistas and I visit them, which is fine because exploration is a heavy thing I want to do. But I'm not going to find anything out here besides rocks and really awesome looking foliage that doesn't press down or can kill my ground vehicles if I touch it. But other than
Tactics for the win.
that, is it the GT Grand Theft Auto Online is yeah it's full hacker. Oh my gosh, yeah
Ugh.
I was in a barber once getting my character's hair design changed, and the guy dropped a car on me inside the barber shop. Like the car just spawned like a Buick, like landed on my head. You find an NPC with sunglasses. I have sunglasses. I was excited. Yeah. So read some of the current captions on the Star Citizen forums. What's going on in CIG? There's one. Um, Subcapital explore ship deficiency, aka why doesn't the Carrack have pilot control weapons? That's actually a game topic. Wow, that's here's one. Are we still allowed to post in Spectrum? Because of distractions.
Yeah.
So here's a question about auction and dispenser repair. How's it paint mark? That's actually a game one. Squadron 42 nearly complete? Question mark. Or exclamation mark actually, but no, we just want to feel valued as part of the process. I stopped playing Xenothreat because of low populated servers. Well, because it doesn't work. Social hacking, whatever that is. Why I think physical cargo is a bad idea. That's actually a game topic. Why Xenothreat has demonstrated capital ship combat because capital ships can't hit crap. Um, why if you were offended by the latest roadmap roundup, you were the noise. As I say, about half of these, maybe 3/4, as I'm going down. What's wrong with a harsh review? Let's get a few. Yeah, there's one from Alien War. Um, I'd say about half, a little bit more right now, are actually the issue with the roadmap. It's cooling off a little bit.
Let's get out there, people.
There's actually game questions in post now from when I checked this morning, so that's good. Um, so another couple of days, this may cool off unless they stick their foot in their mouth again. But I don't know how how it's going to affect their funding. There's a lot of people saying that they're not fun. Going to um, pledge anymore until CIG goes back to a level of transparency that they're happy with. Now, is that rubber going to meet that road? Are people actually going to do that? I guess we'll find out. Though Pyro isn't in Squadron 42, so we will. It's incompletely independent. Pyro, Nyx, those are two things that are not in Squadron 42. My disappointment with Pyro. I'm excited to see a second system. Let's just put that out there. My disappointment with Pyro is it seems like it's more pirate content. Like I look at this. Like there's some stuff here, like combat, remove clay combat. Find some guy in a cave. It's not worth the time and the effort. $4,000 eventually probably get stuck between two rocks and die. Not worth the context. My armor costs more than that. Box mission recovery that you're probably not going to be able to finish it because the box is going to glitch out. We don't do these. Combat. And then you go to your personal side here. And a lot of times it's personal. Most of the times, a lot of these is you're working for criminals. So it's not fleshed out right now, but a lot of times there's a ton of criminal missions, which I don't do because I'm not trying to get a crime stat. And so the idea of Pyro, they better come up with some non-combat stuff or a lot of lawful stuff. I don't think most players want to be pirates. I'm sorry, I just don't see that as being the thing.
I see those people getting tired after playing for a short period of time and moving on.
Yeah, I mean, or they may like if they have sector control, they'll be out in the sectors they control. That's fine. I think that'd be kind of cool actually. You have different pirate factions trying to vie for control over different planets and whatnot. That's pretty awesome. Oh no, Rogo. I was just sidetracking a note about the whole Pyro thing. About hoping that they just don't go pure tons more piracy missions and stuff in it. But yeah, multiplayer PKs are
I mean,
quicker
why
than
don't they
PvP
have any
campaigns.
missions for like the good guy to take supplies to some people that need it? Or
Yeah, exactly.
stuff
Well,
like
I mean, not just a single box, and that's the thing is like they need to work on that. But anyway, aside from all that, I mean, Pyro it won't be delayed because of 42. A lot of other stuff is going to be delayed because of 42. And I really would if I was a developer, I would have said, look, instead of coming out and trying to basically blame the backers, which is really what it sounded like, intentional or not, I would have said, look, the roadmap is we're development in the PU is going to slow down because we're in the push to release Squadron 42. Because of that, there won't be as many updates. But when we know something, we'll talk about it with you. We'll talk about maybe what's being developed in the background, what we're trying to do, and whatever. 2 years ago, we were supposed to have a Squadron 42 trailer. We have never received that new trailer. We had the vertical slice years ago, which was pretty cool. And but yeah, overall, I think that how I would have approached it would have been a lot more diplomatic than what they did. Other than it's like, it's all your fault. You just don't get us. I'm taking our ball, going home, and that was really kind of what it felt like, And as I said, that just may be a developer having a bad day, or a dude just said it wrong. I'm not trying to say that they're intentionally being dickish.
I think it's
That's just how it
interesting.
came
That
out.
sounds like something like a moderator would say after having a bad day.
Yeah. Like a guy who had his coffee that day or something. I don't know.
But
I
for
try to
them
give
to
them the
be
benefit of the doubt.
quiet afterwards, it's making it worse. They should have come out and said something after it, and just hoping that no one's going to pay attention to this massive bomb that they lit on the. I mean, just
Well,
wow.
there
Okay.
there there is a strategy. I mean, like you talk about like ignoring stuff. Sometimes some things you can kind of ignore and go away, but I mean, they have to be careful if that's what they're trying to do to not reignite that flame. And we were surprised at this point in time, this many days into it, because it happened Wednesday, so it's been like 5 days. Um, that like there hasn't been a statement from Chris Roberts, there hasn't been a
Yeah.
statement from upper management. There's been, I mean, and they definitely going to ignore it and pretend it, hope it goes away route. But you would think, since it's probably now some of the biggest posts that we've had in the forums, like at least on Spectrum anyway, relate to this event, that they would have stepped in and said something. Anyway, so I'm going to read the chat here real quick. Go ahead and guys, give me your thoughts on the situation or anything else Star Citizen related or anything gaming related. I don't care. Um, doesn't have to be a really long show today. I just kind of wanted to talk about a little bit about the whole issue, because I feel that their pledge to open development is very important, and they can't just violate it on a whim because it's written in the pretty much of the bylines of what this company was founded on.
My personal opinion is ever since they hired Jared to be their PR person, we hear less and less and less. It's like he's putting on little micro shows. We
Yeah,
had
an
more
8 minute
communication.
inside Star Citizen, and
You know, I
please tell me you
used
didn't
to
take a whole
really
week to produce
enjoy
that.
when Chris Roberts and Aaron Roberts and everybody would come on, and they were enthusiastic and happy and giving us detailed stuff was going on.
Jared comes across very snarky a lot of the times.
He's
He
like he's
is
putting
full
on
of snark. It is like it's like I am his little head wiggle bob thing, sitting in the chair staring into the camera thing. It doesn't. He comes across as one of the snarkiest people. Like he's not someone I would want to hang out with on any day. Honestly, he seems to just be just like he
he
lives for
became
he lives for
in his
gotcha moments, but he's like one of those people. He gives you that I gotcha look, but at the same time you're like, dude, you just owned yourself. Like he doesn't he's not self aware enough to realize that 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 a lot of times it's these he's not proving a point that works in his favor, and it's just like he stares at like he's like the guy who comes in last place and pretended he almost lapped everybody. I don't know. It's really weird. I see. Roundhouse says, "Do we really think that changing the roadmap from 4 quarters to 1 quarter at a time is going to make a difference? I expect changes like sun not as bright, coffee spilling tech, and random whale sounds and no whales. No random whale sounds and no whales. That's awesome."
yeah. Yeah, where are our flying whales?
And the way see here, Roundhouse says, and with the way he backtracks and all of his jokes, even when he finally makes a funny one, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Look, he's. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan. I'm not. And he's irritating to me. He's like number 2 on my irritation list. You all know who my number 1 is. Um, I think that one goes even without saying, and you could probably put that directly into the chat because I don't
Yeah.
have a prize to give you, but who do you think my number 1 point of irritation is when it
Every
comes to
time I see his face,
yeah.
I'm sorry, my middle finger wants to rise up and make a cross symbol with my other middle finger.
Exactly. Rattlehead says he ain't my wingman. Salute Eric. Salute Eric Peterson. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Give me the name. Give me the name. Who knows the name? Who's the guy that
Yeah.
irritates me the most on the shows?
Oh,
Let's see here. See who comes in first. Okay. Here it says it's kind of funny. I made the argument to someone a couple years ago online that the roadmap is irrelevant, and like many of my predictions, it also comes true. Yeah, the roadmap is arbitrary.
to me, the roadmap is just a goal.
Yeah, it's a
That's
rough
all
outline.
it's been.
It just shows us what they're kind of trying to work on.
And now they're saying they're going to take that away from us. So, for as far as we know, they're just collecting
Well, they're not taking it away.
money
They're
and
just
leaving.
they're minimizing it. You know, they're like here's your 1 month outlook. You know, it's not really a roadmap. More like going down to the convenience store and asking where the local Walmart is. It's no longer you're no
I'd
longer
almost
going on a
feel
long trip. You're going down the block. You know.
I'd almost feel better if they did less broadcasts with, and each broadcast we got had more meat and potatoes to it. Now it just feels like they're doing one just to do one,
Hmm.
and they
Yeah,
keep
yeah. I mean,
stumbling on the
uh,
old ones.
the old ones
Rock,
were like half an hour, 45 minutes. You
yeah,
know,
and you were
there was
sitting
some cool
there.
stuff in there. They would take us on tours of the things, show us what they're working on, and they're actually physically walking around. I know that might not
Yeah,
be such a such a doable issue, doable thing these days, but. The point is that remember Wingman had the helmet cam and he'd fly around, he'd run around the office. The guy was fun. I,
Wingman was a blast.
I supported his Descent game not because I actually ever intended to play it, because I was supporting the man. I went and got I backed the Kickstarter. I have access to the game. I just played it like maybe 5 minutes. Not because it's a bad game. It's just it's not my kind of game. But I was supporting him. It was a thank you for being such an awesome host. That's why I did it.
He was
Um,
so enthusiastic.
yeah.
That's what carried it.
See here, he's an extremely
Jared's like,
competent resource. Oh, a second. Let me read this before it goes away. He's extremely competent resource. Rogo says that can be Machiavellian even, but in function scope, he's singular, one track, or rather, that started out one segment pony, more suitable for a crowding out title, a shifting meta cycle title, not a multi-segment title with a matrix scope at the global increment tick, where diverse up and down column profiles will be needed. Yeah, he's a package. He's
oh,
like I have leading off. He worked for Disney, so he has that. He's like the Disney sequels of Wingman for Star Wars. You know, like you have Wingman being the original trilogy, and then you have Jared being the Disney trilogy. Which is odd, which is appropriate because he worked for Disney. Um,
we have no lore on this subject.
yeah,
Could you go back to the forums and read all the posts you've done over all these years?
yeah.
How about the stories and stuff you had almost on when even ships
Oh
had
my
their own
gosh, yeah.
backstory?
A Yogi and Colson show? Yeah. How about a Yogi
Oh,
Colson Tony Z show, man? You give
oh,
me you give me a Yogi Colson Tony Z show and I'm there with pop. I'll go pop some popcorn. I will settle in, man. I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, three awesome people." Look, that's the difference. That's the passion. Those three guys, right? Like I wasn't sure about Mr. Colson when he started because he was new. But look, I have thorough faith in the man. He has a passion for it. He's gonna make mistakes. He's gonna learn. He's gonna make things better. But he has a passion for it. We all make mistakes. We all do things, and we try to make things better. I see Yogi and David Colson as being two very good people trying to do the best they can in what might be a madhouse of a scenario. And so I give them a lot of props. And I look forward to seeing the flight model continue to advance because of them. If it wasn't them, I would be severely hesitant to have any hope whatsoever. I would be like just kind of just typing with my face on the keyboard right now. Um, let's see here. Yeah. Peterson was the face of CIG for the first 2 years. He had to go. His face was on a poster, "We want you," and then it was removed. And you can only see it mixed in the trash in the ground at Levski. Ouch.
yes, yeah. His poster's on the floor.
Wow, that's freaking cold.
Yeah, I have noticed that. I went, why is this? It's not even hung up anymore. Because I mean, I thought that was really, really sweet. The man is part of Star Citizen, and
I
I
will
thought was
always
really cool.
consider Eric Peterson to be one of the major reasons that Star Citizen had an early success. The
Yeah,
man had charisma. He had passion.
energy.
He
Oh my
drove
gosh,
people
passion.
to the game because they could see his excitement level. Now
Yes.
when I watch Inside Star Citizen, I see a pile of snark, and
Yeah.
it makes me like we get to those. What did we learn this week? I stopped the video. I don't care. I'm done. The second you start talking again, and it's the wrap up sheet. I don't need you to tell me what I learned this week. What I
And
learned this
according to
week is that
you, Meta is
you made
sweet.
an 8-minute video, and three of it's can be you pontificating at the end. That's what I learned this week.
Meta is good.
Okay.
Everything goes good with Meta. Would you like some ice cream with that Meta? It's like,
Yeah.
Jared, I know you, I used to watch
Yeah, he had an
Disco
after show. Yeah,
Lando.
you're right. It was awesome. Um,
Oh,
see, let me forget what actually happened to Les. Yeah, besides very own major flaws. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the look, Ben had his flaws too. Um, but you know what? He was still passionate about the project.
yeah, if it
He had a
wasn't for
lot more
him, there
passion.
would be no
He
Star
made a
Citizen.
lot. They made he had his bias of wanting it to be freelancer,
Hmm.
including the control schemes and stuff. Everything being basically being a Twitch shooter. That much was given, especially the whole video top men here we are thing. But he was still preferable because there was a passion there. I just don't. Oh, as I said, when I see him, when I see Disco the way he acts, I don't see passion. I see, haha, I'm working here and you're not. Ha 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 ha. I'm better than you. I'm like, I don't care, dude. Just give me some news and don't cover it in snark. I don't care. I don't care if you work there or not. Someone else can do that job, please. Just stop the snark. I can edit videos too. I've done it. I have videos to prove it. It does not take you a week to edit an 8-minute video. Sorry, not sorry. Um, I could, it's just not impressive to me. Yeah, Colson's awesome. Um, sometimes I feel like I should just I should like send him something. I don't know. I don't want to feel like I'm bribing people though, unless it works. If it works, if it works, I'll bribe. You think the NPCs are refuse service due to the noise? Yeah. You notice what the backpacks don't get foggy. They don't get frozen.
I think it's interesting.
Neither do the guns or
As soon
clips.
as you entered the ramp,
Hmm.
you went from being frosted to instantly healed. There's you standing out there, you
Well,
progressively
okay,
get
that's
cold and
because
frosty.
they're okay. The ship, okay, how it works right now is there's no air transference between this line and this line. Okay, over here, right?
Yeah,
This part when you step out of the ship, you step literally into a different environment. There's no transference of air or vacuum down the road. Having these doors open, the ship inside will match the outside temperature and also the atmosphere. So like if you don't have a spacesuit on and you're landing on an right now you could be naked and standing in here and open vacuum and you'll be fine. But down the road, if you're naked back here and you pop open these things, you'll die. At least that's what they want to do. They showed us that a long time ago. And it has to do also with fire propagation, where basically the fire will spread, looking for sources of oxygen, moving from location to location, in ships that explode in under 3 seconds. But other than that, these are the things that still have to come online. All right, so Rattler says, if you look at every feature that's dropped, you see they get started and then never looked at again. Only mining's had passes, but then again, we won't be mining in Squadron 42. Right, I mean, salvage being delayed again. Basically, salvage has been 2 years plus delayed. And in fact, maybe it's 3 years at this point in time when they said they were giving us dynamic missions. And we can't really have any of that anyway until Quanta comes online, right? Because the dynamic missions rely on the NPCs to interact with one another. They require the ebb and flow of all that to kind of come together. NPCs walking around on planets. They said they just basically are getting finished with and maybe have already finished the planetary navigation grid, so NPCs can actually walk on planets and know where they're going or drive vehicles maybe, all that stuff until they hit a rock and explode. Then I'm going to laugh at them or a cactus. Don't forget the cactus.
cactus.
Um, maybe the devs need a coding gun. Yeah, there you go. Bring a multi-tool coding gun to make the gun and code. All right. Rogo says Coulson was publicly shamed not via Dreyfus demotion, but rather Pronger when the big sig Uh, was this worst level arrogance? Yeah, it was so cruel, so unnecessary. A typical complex-laden power trip of lesser subjects, and yet he narrowly made it through. But even battled unrelated conditions. Up your shooter, shot code, dude, bros. Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time he had that conference. He looked really like down. Like he looked like he was being like he had been beaten down by. It was apparent. It looked like someone who would just had given up. And I think that's the same thing that you saw with John Pritchett. Here, you've got two people like physics. It's like you've got when you have two physics guys that come into the game and they look like they're getting their they've been run through the ringer. They should be ecstatic. There's the idea of a game that is supposed to be using heavy physics to get
Yeah,
things
TJ
done.
here. The Navy's been waiting on supply drops.
But a lot of what Star
We've
Citizen
got
has
the
been
lot.
doing has been to ignore the physics of a situation, to basically bypass it through, the values that have been put into things. The desire to have the jankiest, twitchiest shooter you can imagine, mixed with survival mechanics and things like this. Where you're staying out on a planet, or permadeath, or losing all your items when you die. None of that meshes. The flight side of it, at least the focus part with the controls and everything like that, has been very much the opposite of the intent of what you can see like here right now. And it must be very difficult for someone to come into that who's been studying, who knows about their field. They're the expert in that field. Let them do their thing. It shouldn't have to be a fight. All right. Hero says AI algorithms already exist. They're getting close to the point. Maybe a new scope creep feature for Star Citizen. Maybe have the NPCs teach them the code. But yeah, minimal viable product, tier zero phase. They said that they basically most of the stuff is going to be finished in Squadron before they bring it over to the live. So we're not going to see a lot of stuff.
But
Uh,
they have not told us anything about Squadron in over a year.
more almost 2 years really, because they were supposed to
Yes,
have a
it's
trailer
just
2 years ago.
yeah, just poof.
But yeah, so what do I think overall about the situation with the roadmap? Not surprising. Um, and really, it doesn't change too much on the actuality of the roadmap. Let's just be frank about it. The roadmap has been unreliable at best. If your roadmap was just a tentative, maybe we'll get to see this in 3 months, but the odds are, at this point in time, you knew that that wasn't the case. I don't think any of us were ever surprised to see things get taken off the roadmap. What my surprise of the situation was how they phrased it, how they were acting like it was the backers' fault. The people who literally paid their paychecks, literally have made them the most successful privately backed game in the history of the world, of all time, ever. And to basically come out and tell those people that it's your fault is just jaw dropping levels of entitlement. And whoever wrote that seriously needs a reprimand. Um, Something. Because that was uncalled for. And I don't care if their fifis are hurt by people being complaining about stuff, because welcome to the internet, right? Uh, it's like they moved a lot of their stuff off Spectrum to Reddit,
Yeah,
like a lot of the updates and stuff, which is stupid. But they did that because too many people posting
trolls.
negative things, or not negative, or at least not negative things against what they were trying to do with with facts and figures and other things, having and other points of view and opinion. So they moved half or whatever their crap to Reddit. You sometimes see the things, check Reddit for updates. I'm not going to Reddit for an update. I go to CIG's website for an update. Don't send it to Reddit. I don't. That's I hate Reddit. I tried it for a little while. It's just a pile of snark, and you try to talk about anything other than how everything is perfect. You just get hammered on, and it's just not worth. I hate echo chambers like that. It's not worth it to me. Not that Spectrum's much better, but you can still get things in from time to time. Rattlehead says, I just didn't like is how items on the roadmap were removed days before release, and then years later that feature is still not seen. Yeah. Rogo
It
says,
seems, it seems like to me, it's like it's put on the roadmap. It comes off so fast, and then we never hear about it again for a long period of time.
mm-mm. Yeah.
They could at least tell us what as far as I know, in my mind, I think if it got pulled off the roadmap, they must have found something that was not working, so they had to go back to the
Yeah,
drawing
yeah,
board.
I understand it's blockers and
That's
things like that's
fine.
fine. That's fine, but
That
just
yeah, but don't just what they're not doing open development like they said. And open development would save their
yeah, like we
high.
had bug smashers and things like that. We have to
Ah,
see.
yeah, that was a
I thought
blast.
we had multiple shows during the week that were worth a darn.
Yeah, and
And
now
like
it's
you got
just
to see, you got
filler.
to understand some of the difficulties of development. That was fine. The transparency there was great. Let's see here. Let's see here. Rogo says it's not just the inevitable drama of the week in a social media cringe environment that in its tonality created and engineered, entitled even by CIG itself as a summary organism, destroying the very faceted and layered environment they had accidentally achieved before. Is it? See, Rogue says CIG video devs on screen. We always look to your feedback on Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can't post any feedback on Reddit that's not "We love you, we love you." Excuse me, real quick. I need to get on my knees and unzip your fly. I mean, other than that, I mean, if you not if that's if you're if that's your Reddit experience right there. So what's the point of like looking at feedback on literally the people who won't they just here's my pic here here's a screenshot I took, and then they just 500 likes on a screenshot, and then that's the big post of the day or something. um
I watched Spectrum die
mhm.
when they started not even giving us information on anything. They just kept throwing everything to Reddit. I went to
Mhm.
Reddit a couple times and threw my hands up in the air. I don't understand this
I
site at
hate
all.
Reddit. I hate the format of Reddit. I
And
hate
it's
the
been
layout of
years
Reddit. I
since
hate
I've gone
everything
back to
about
Reddit,
Reddit.
and I figured, what? Why are
Yeah.
they shouldn't be chatting
Yeah.
on an
I
alternate
just have
website.
no interest in boards like that. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't
They're
either.
just
It's
messy.
like,
It's
no.
Reddit is a sloppy animal, and I hate it. It's one of
At
old.
least on Spectrum, you got to see both sides,
Mhm.
and you could see the trolls. But that's what moderators are supposed to be for. But when we got to the point where the moderators were so negative that they would even attack people they shouldn't be attacking.
Yeah.
It's like they're always in a bad mood, so
Well, the
they just
moderators
attack
would
everybody.
let certain people get attacked left and right,
Yes.
and then other people, if you went like, I like turtles, and then you would get banned for
Yeah.
violating subsection rule 38.2, you know, uh, aggressive acts towards turtles or something, and you're just like what the hell are you talking about? And you try, and they're like, and then, oh, we're going to moderate you for moderation because you talked about moderation, and it's just like, because you guys are being assholes. But yeah, I'm going to talk about it. No, you're banned for talking about our terrible moderations. There's no way to win with in that scenario. So I don't post as much on the spectrum because I mean I do from time to time when there's something worth talking
I
about.
haven't posted on Spectrum in almost 2 years now because I'm just so disgusted. I can't even say, "Wow, that's a good idea" or anything because it's just junk. I don't even feel like anyone reads them anymore. I just feel like ever since they hired Jared, that he's supposed to be fluffy, and we'll get a little bit of fluff from him, and we're supposed to be happy with it. And if we don't agree with or even ask a question, and then if we ask a question or make any sort of comment that isn't, "Oh,
Oh yeah,
thank you very much, let me bow down and kneel to your greatness," they go all craziness, and you get attacked by the world of trolls.
it's the subreddit. It's
And then
just
when you
a,
watch the moderators become the trolls, it's like, okay, guys, you feel like I feel like you guys are being paid to do this crap, and I know you're. Well, I don't
yeah,
even
you're
know if you
right.
are anymore.
The reclaimer sold well because salvage was on the roadmap about
Yeah,
3.1 or 3.2. You're right. Um, subreddit is just a screenshot simulator. Flame warn anyone making constructive criticism. Also true. Oh yeah, and the guy that got banned off the forums for mentioning the hex codes, which is something that they brought up. It's
Yeah,
something that
they bring something up
CIG
and he gets
talked about,
banned.
and he talked about and got banned for it. And it's like really. That was a poop show. Remember back when was it? Yeah, there was a YouTuber. He's very negative now. It was anyway. It was an Idris debacle. He got to buy an Idris, and then basically that was refunded, and because it was like a weird error that the Idrises weren't supposed to be. Anyway, I forget his name now, but basically he became a huge detractor of the game after the drama, not only of the developers but also of the community attacking him as well for bringing up the issue. You may know his name. I forget his name. It was. I used to watch some of his videos, but I don't watch many Star Citizen YouTube channels anymore because it's just a matter of what are they going to tell me that I can't see in 10 minutes on my own. Um, Rogo says the community moderators were partisan to the point of boy, that's a word I don't know. Daddyism, da- deism. I'm gonna have to look that one up. Your vocabulary, Rogo, just drives me. It's just like, golly, you're like a thesaurus. Absolutely, you're amazing.
Rogo, you get spoken
Yeah,
about your in positive ways when it
you
comes
speak
to your.
English better than I do.
You speak English better than most Americans do.
Yeah, I think you.
Okay,
I think Shakespeare would need a thesaurus around you, man. Okay, if we go
I
back.
loved how learning how to read at a young age and reading books and getting the big words would
Yeah.
irritate teachers into schools
Yeah,
nowadays.
you would
And
absolutely
then
have
there's
killed my public
Rogo.
school. Teachers would have committed seppuku.
Ro-
Anyway, so
Rogo, Rogo's huge, massive quantity. That's not even right. Well,
dude,
I
your
guess it could
accent
be.
just sells it even better. Your accent. I can see you wearing like glasses, like in a lab coat. Like you push up your finger comes out like to bridge your nose and pushes up your glasses as you got your little. And it's like almost anime-ish. It's like whoop,
I'm envisioning Rogo with a cigar, a brandy or cognac, sitting in front of a
So
fire
he's like a,
with a big.
he's the guy doing the golf clap video. The little
Yeah, very nice.
yeah,
Yes,
right,
very
right. Ooh.
nice.
All right, so uh,
Jeeves, can you bring me my cognac for the night? Thank you.
let's see here.
Uh,
Uh, yeah, not mentioning that selling hex codes was not what CIG was talking about years ago. Apparently, truth is a bannable offense. No, wait, that's just noise distraction, you guys. Remember the Jared leak? Yeah, look at all the work they were showing back then. Yeah, that the whole
yeah,
thing of him showing. Yeah, that was epic.
it was
That
black.
was like the best update we've had in a long time, right there.
Whoops!
Whoops.
I let you guys know what stuff is and
Oh
what
yeah,
folder you find
when Rogo types, he needs a sign language dude on the side of the screen. That would be good.
it. Rogo's got his own interpreter.
See, I don't know why Rogo obfuscates his language on purpose. To take a secret agent, not 007, since he's dead. I figure out what's his. Yeah, now it's not now it's not 007. Now it's whatever. Um, but anyway, guys. So
Uh,
yeah, the we'll have to see what happens from here. I think that I think transparency is pretty much dead at this point in time in Star
yeah, I think it's
Citizen.
yeah, I think they've pretty much
I think they've
basically
just
said
pretty much just officially just kind of labeled as such, and maybe what they should do, like a lot of times in games, like we have these quarterly releases. Well, they're like they get that they're like I don't say the quarter release. Let's say every a month and a half because they do a major release and then a minor release to the major release. That's and then like a month and a half. Like, the like the point one version. Maybe they should just start releasing things like more piecemeal. Like oh we finished this ship. It's why wait to the next big build? Let's just put it in the game now. Oh, we finished this weapon. Why wait to we the patcher now allows small patches. So when I say, okay, guys, today we added this kind of gun. Today we added this mission type to the game. Just test it out and let us know. Why not have smaller, more consistent little bubbles of content instead of making people wait for big chunks. and because those chunks aren't that big, in all honesty.
Look how Fallout 76 lays out their roadmaps and how often
They missed the
stuff just
targets too.
disappears.
Yeah.
They show us what's upcoming on Fallout 76, and then all of a sudden it just disappears, and they speak nothing about it. And so you sit there and scratch your head. Now I got this bad feeling that Star Citizen is going to be just like that, and Star Citizen is supposed to be open development. They could at least go, hey, we had to push this back because of this, or we found something else that was more pertinent to put our resources into that we need to get done first, and then we're going to bring this back. Now they're just, I feel like they're not even throwing a dart at a board anymore. They're just throwing stuff out there to fill a box, and then they pull it back off. It's like, could you tell us what happened? No.
Look, I
Um,
don't mind if there's something that's taken off the roadmap. Here's something I think a lot of people will be satisfied with. Hey guys, we took this off the roadmap
because,
because while
yeah,
if we actually had a blocker in this situation. I don't know, say like when these two meshes combined, it causes an issue, which is something we need to address because that actually will fix several other problems over here too. So we're going to delay this, but that's not because the main thing isn't working. It's because like there is a blocker here that will actually fix several problems if we can address this issue. So it's ready to go once we can fix this one thing. I think
that's
that would be
positive.
perfectly reasonable. I think most of us
Yes.
would sit back and go, okay,
Thank you.
cool. Yeah, That's I'm okay with that. But you, what makes people mad is the lack of information because they speculate, they guess, they create stories and fantasies in their head. Look, sunlight is the best disinfectant. If you want people to to grab onto what you're trying to do or to accept the changes that are there or to be forgiving or all that, be open. Just be open. It'll be worth its weight in gold, guaranteed, every time. Worth its weight in gold. We're all adults here. We've been If you've been back and started since the beginning, you probably have grandchildren by now.
Yeah.
The point is that like we're all adults here. Okay, so just stop treating us like we're like a lot of the backers have been here 10 years. All right, so just understand that we're 10 years older. Some of us started, we're in high school when this started. I wasn't, but some of us were in high school
And
when they started
graduated
backing.
college.
They've already graduated from college.
Yeah.
They've got a family. Some of them have kids now. Just treat them like that. Treat them like they've moved on from high school and college, and now run a large corporation and you
Good
know
luck.
and are an astronaut because that it was easier for them to get to space that way. you know, Basic stuff. Um, it's like I got tired of waiting for Star Citizen to release, so I got a job at NASA. Now I'm at the International Space Station. That would be funny if that was
I'm
the story
working
of an
on
actual backer.
Marv's rovers because like I never got my Ursa rover in game, so
I
I
know.
just
I
had
want
to
my
build my
Mars
own
rover
rover.
instead. And oddly enough, they make it look like an Ursa rover,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they do that on purpose. And,
It's now the size
and
of a compact car because I just want to keep making it bigger and
yeah,
stronger.
and then on the side of the Mars rover, you write the word "answer the call."
Answer the call.
Oh, that would be awesome. See here, Roundhead says the CIG. Oh no, it went away. Okay, I'll have to. See here, right here it says Cynic would say that the lack of roadmaps is because they don't even want to work on the PU anymore, but slowly Squadron 42. Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. Uh, yeah, wrong. No roadmap because the chaos has reached a point where the sins of the past and the lack of present can no longer be covered up by the buzzing and hot air completely. I think the term you used was intellectual chapter 11. I kind of like that
Yeah,
one. Um, all right, so they want to keep selling JPEGs with no accompanying gameplay to speak of. Yeah, gameplay loops, man. I would be perfectly fine, honestly, with just more gameplay loops, like just things to do. That's the primary thing for me. I can wait on a lot of stuff. I just want things to do.
I figured with the Xeno threat again, I'd be going to jail because the
Hey, but that's
last time I
okay.
was
Xeno
Xeno
Threat's
threat,
just broken, so you don't have to worry about that.
yeah,
So,
I mean the last Xeno threat, I got crime stats all the time for doing nothing. It's like, hey, there, shoot our guns, and we're going to jail. Because that Xeno threat was just like, how did I get a crime stat?
mhm.
And it's like, oh great, now I got to sit in a prison because the mining thing doesn't work. You pull out your mining tool and you throw it on the ground. It's like, why did I do that? Okay, now I guess I'll just log
Xeno
off
Threat's
for a
working
bit.
fine. We just ain't invited. and
Yeah,
it's true. It is working fine. It's just that no players can participate in it.
yeah.
It's
I,
not.
I
It's now an NPC only event. Let's see here.
hey, I got something to say about that. All my things that I have on the right side of my screen right
Oh
now
yeah. Well, yeah. You can
are
do
in the
role playing.
white.
You're right. You can do role playing. If you're an R, if you're an RPG guild or something, yeah, you
There you
could you
go.
you could Star Citizen could still suit your needs.
Yeah.
It's set pieces. Oh look,
Oh,
there
she's
we haven't
talking
received
to
any
me, Riley.
supplies in a while. Yeah, gather
Yeah.
people. Give me a mission. Pay me, lady.
Give me a
I was about to
waypoint.
drop
I'll
the
come
B
get
word. I was
the
like,
mission.
pay me, beep. It's like, it's just no. Give me money. I'm not doing this
The
for free.
server is so empty that all my stuff on the right side of my screen, it's telling me frame rate and all this stuff, is in the white.
Yeah.
It's never doing that
Oh
for
yeah.
my
The
system.
the servers are having about 20 people right now, give or take.
Yeah.
They
There's
people just admit they just stopped playing because it's like even the big events broken.
look at my frame rate's in the 30s. That doesn't happen normally. Normally I'm lucky to get in the teens.
Is that migrant? Yeah,
This
you
is
could have joined and enjoyed a few days of bullet train ride. Yeah, yeah. I still Yeah, that whole bullet train situation when Rogo was on our stream.
yeah,
It
Rogo just
wasn't today.
sat
It
there.
ended the
It's like,
stream when the spaceport finally drew in for him.
yeah,
It was like a 2 hour stream, and he finally got to
2 hour
see the
stream, and
spaceport for
Rogo
two
was
hours being stuck on the train.
stuck on an endless train.
Let's see here. Company extensively admonished and warned of by experts and laymen, all walks of trade life have decade at a point in time, including industry participants and role Star Citizen backers. Um, CIG cannot release anything that isn't broken to high hell, and now we aren't going to see them until QA makes sure it's working right for Squadron 42. God save us all. Um, you were LARPing the movie Dark City as the city builds itself. I remember that movie. Dark
Oh
City was pretty
gosh.
cool. I like that movie. It was kind of weird.
I think it's funny as Jared keeps bringing up. I know everybody. I haven't moved yet. Who cares? What we still get your attitude when you go to the UK and you can't do your job at your office that you're doing now.
That can happen.
Yeah.
First it was massively a roadmap, then it was a roadmap for a roadmap. Now the roadmap is moot. Yeah. Oh yeah, frame rate's definitely better when less people are on because
Oh yeah.
I
Look
mean
at this. Oh crud. Did it say 38 for a second?
it's like magic.
No way. 34.
Yeah, because there's not that many people playing, so the
Yeah.
server ticks are higher.
Server times in the white, universal times in the white. All these other stuff that I don't understand are in the white. Look at this.
This deal's getting worse all the time. Exactly.
Pray
I
it
have
doesn't
altered
get
it.
any worse
I have altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it further.
any further.
What paint is that on the cutlass? Yoink.
It's black and red.
Mm-hmm. Let me check for you. Won't let me do it. I forget, but it was one that they had on the store a while ago. I like it. It actually makes my cutlass black. Black. So that's a very appropriate one. And it's just a nice kind of a flat paint scheme. I have other ones too, but this has turned into my favorite one for that. I can go without the big Drake Industrial or whatever on the side of the ship, like the wording like that. But anyway, guys, so yeah, I think we said everything we want to say today about this. As far as I guess we talked about it longer than I expected, but I wasn't thinking that there was gonna be much to talk about, honestly. But I just hope that CIG can go back to its the transparency that we want, that we deserve. And I don't care if someone calls that entitled or not. This is a privately backed game. The private backers are entitled to CIG upholding the pledge, and that's what it was called, the pledge
Yeah, when you go on the website, it says
of
when you go to purchase
transparency,
anything, they call it a pledge.
accountability, and they can't just, well, technically they can. Morally they should not. They made a pledge to the people who backed the game. You don't have to. I understand. A lot of us understand changes happen, but can you be honest about it, please? You're gonna keep Squadron 42 and everything under wraps so long that people aren't even going to care anymore. You are. You're trying. Give us some info. Give us some info.
How
Before,
many years has it been since they showed
because
the trailers?
because if they fix Cyberpunk before Star Citizen comes out, I'm gonna be,
Oh my gosh, no.
you know, at least in Star Citizen the cops actually fly to your location instead of just teleporting instantly appearing. Um, let's see here. Let's say painted plaque that it ate a cutlass plaque. Joe Biden, right? Look at the radar as it passes. It came from left field. Yeah, like they don't understand how radar works either. We are backers. We are gifting money that just happens to include a ship, and there's no way to donate money without an item attached. We aren't investors, because et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Yeah. But heavy as in weight, atmosphere is still next level puzzling. Yeah, heavy atmosphere. You say heavy atmosphere, what I think of is like you're deep into the core of like a gas giant. You know, where like all the crushing forces are coming down on you.
It's like the deeper you go in the ocean with a submarine,
Yeah,
the more forces
that's what
try
I
to
think when I
crush
say
you.
heavy atmosphere. I don't think
Yeah, heavy.
gravity. You know, the roadmap for future patches is now when it's done. Exactly. And I think
Yeah.
that's a great way to cap it off when it's done. Um, I think that could summarize the new policy as far as information goes when it's done. And being how little there's stuff is on the roadmap, I can tell you as an Evocati tester, these next builds, what are we going to be testing? A ship? A bartender? Yeah, I got some drinks. I flew my ship. It flew. Released a build. I don't know.
Well, look, the hover bike. It got released and tested and never even sold.
Yeah.
What was a big push on that? Everybody, look, it's a starter
Duke Nukem Forever
hover
trailers.
bike.
But
Eh,
that's good, yeah. Does this mean you have to start talking about flight? No. If we don't talk about it, who's going to talk about it? The Pongo cluster? No thanks. Um, that's pressure, not heavy. Are we in white knight mode? you were so unboolean that you're literal Boolean. Anyway, guys, I think we'll call it there. But we'll have to see what happens over the course of the next few weeks and months. If they want to pull their power into Squadron 42, fine. But can we get a trailer or something, please? Something. Give us something.
I mean, I'm always excited when we get to hear, even if it's just a couple moments from Chris Roberts. I haven't heard anything on Aaron in a long time. And he used to be come in and have short videos and interviews. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. And it seems like now all we have is Jared, who talks to us like we're a bunch of children in a kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if he was talking to kindergarten kids, it'd be more.
Yeah, it'd probably be nicer.
You'd have more respect.
Yeah, the Roberts are MIA.
Yeah, gone. And that makes me really scared. It's like they used to be, come on, guys, look what we're doing. This is awesome. Feel the energy. And we're like, yes, here. How else can we help support this?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, huh? Where is everybody?
Yeah.
The same energy was with Bug Smashers. He was thrilled. Look at this crap I found.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how we replicated it. Look how we fixed it. And you're like, awesome, man. This is awesome.
Brad says the energy is on CR's boat. That's
Oh
good. That's good.
no.
All right.
Oh no.
And on the I'm on a boat, M or effer, don't you ever forget motif. Uh, Gravy. Anyway, guys, so we'll wrap it up there. So we'll be back for the Wednesday hangout. Don't know, just random game, random whatever. Thursday we'll be back to sucking at Fallout 1, where I pick up going down to a new area I found that I am not familiar with. So who knows how that's going to work out. And Friday hangout. Hopefully, Xenothreat, if it's still going on, if it's fixed, and we'll see what's going on from there. So. Uh,
Yeah, because Xenothreat takes a long time. It's not like
It does, it
it's
does.
ended.
But it's a good way to make
Yeah,
money when it works. Um,
even though they've lowered the payouts.
yeah, I don't do. I have two mining ships that I don't mine because like I just don't find that I don't find mining currently as it stands to be very engaging.
No,
Um,
and and you try to slowly adjust your power and
it's
whatnot, and
wonky. It's the server
it's so
lag
wonky.
I just I don't find the mining mechanic to be. It's not deep.
How many
It's not even
years did
remotely
I
deep.
enjoy mining in Eve Online that I would sit there? I didn't AFK
Right.
mine.
Well,
I
it's like it's a step above Eve's mechanic to some degree because like
Yeah, I love
you have to
mining.
interact with it,
It's fun. I
but
enjoy it.
it's like almost like an unnecessary interaction. Like you just be like, can I just
Yeah.
set my power here and it'd be, because like even if you can watch the videos, like they show the miner like standing up and having coffee when it's mining, but you can't do that in the
No, you
version that
can't.
we've got because the beam goes everywhere, the rock explodes and you die.
And
So
now they want us to leave the ship to strap
oh yeah,
some
and also the beam
gizmo
points. Also, the ship parks over the rock, and the beam points straight down to the surface.
into the service. Yeah.
Right,
But now
and
they
all
want
these
us.
videos, you see that over and over again, and not you cannot do that with that ship. Anyway,
No, and they want
that's
us to bring that
sidetrack,
gizmo too. That
sidetrack.
gizmo. Now
Yeah,
they have
yeah,
to take it
the
to the loft.
gizmo thing. That's good.
Another mini game.
Yeah, so
Really?
I could just spend I could spend 20 minutes going outside, putting the thing on the ship on the rock, and then lining the device, and then blowing up the rock, and then going back out into space and trying to find the thing that I pay thousands of dollars for, if it hasn't been blown up already by the exploding rock, to go ahead and reclaim it, right? And then
Oh, you forgot. You forgot. Once you leave
mhm,
the mining ship,
mhm.
it gets bombed.
or I could see that the rock is too hard for me to mine, and I could go get a different rock.
Yeah, different rock.
Which one of those two are you gonna do? I'm gonna go to a different rock. Okay, I'm sorry, but that I don't see unless it's like this unless those devices are used on like gigantic like Orion class size asteroids, it just isn't worth it to me. Um, anyway, yeah, yeah, exactly. Don't attack fans. SJW coming to the same and say goodbye to their profits, aka Marvel, DC, all stuff like that. They're getting
Yeah.
destroyed by manga now. In fact, Japan's going out of its way to not listen to these people. It's like, no, we're gonna do more of what you hate because everyone else loves it. So you could just, oh, you hate that? Great, more of that. Yeah,
Look, the majority likes it, and the
yeah,
minority doesn't. So we're gonna do more of the stuff that people like.
exactly. All right, he stole lots of armor from Xeno last day. It was broken, no enemies. Thanks, Xeno. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. Well, I guess we should wrap it up there. Do appreciate you all coming out. It's nice to get together with you guys at least once a week on a show, and we got something to talk about. Even though it was uh, uh, not so much news as watching a wonderful raging dumpster fire. Um, kind of continue to spit. I guess we got to see CIG's first fire propagation out of game. Um,
Whoa, yeah, see how it
so
spread.
eventually, if they can take their form technology, put that directly into the game, we will have amazing fire propagation. Um, so here,
And if I'm hearing stuff right, the even the discussion of what they just did that's on those forums is now being carried on to other games forums.
oh yeah, there's news articles written about it.
Yeah,
So
so it's like, oh, nice job. That's good PR.
yeah, we're, not, we're, I said we're on the roadmap as the roadmap of we're not getting a roadmap. Oh, so anyway,
Yeah.
all right, guys. Well, as I said, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks for coming out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Uh, I'm gonna go take my cat to the litter box. He's staring at me. He's old and refuses to go ahead and
I'm
use
gonna
the
say, are you making fun of our wonderful Drake ship?
No, no, no.
Take our Drake ship
This
to the
cat is
cat about
18 and he wants me to lift him into the litter box, so he gives me that stare. And if I don't do something about it soon, there's gonna be problems.
But somehow he
It's
has
gonna.
enough energy to jump up on a bed.
It, well,
He
that
can't
bed's
make
only.
it to the
I
litter
live on.
box.
I sleep on a futon on the floor since Japan, so it doesn't have a very high gap. But he's looking at me like, dude, take me to the litter box. I'm gonna poop right here on your bed. And so that's not exactly how I want to move on with my day. So, anyway, guys, the cat's calling, and I'm gonna answer before I have to do lots of laundry. Just- he's 18. It's just like he's just the just he is what he is. He's a good cat, but you know. Anyway, guys, catch you soon. Thanks for coming out. Enjoy your day. And answer the call. That's my own version of answer the
Answer
call.
the
The
call.
call to the litter box. Oh my gosh! Yeah, feed me, Seymour. And this is like just when I pick him up, that to squeeze him too hard because it's like a Play-Doh factory, except not the good kind.
Now I got this bad vision of the
Blessed be the
posters.
kitten. Exactly.
Every time you see the posters now, you see them on the ground all
hmm
grungy. Now I'm thinking of them being in the bottom of the litter box.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like, why?
Rogo be that name. Yeah. All right, guys. Said cat's calling. So you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for coming out, and see you next time. Bye.
Why?
Cat emergency. Activate.